Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I'm so glad that you guys are with us on today. So, those of you who are watching us live stream via social media platforms, we certainly want to thank you guys for continually coming in. And as you come in, we want you to like, tag, and share this conversation with other folks. Tell them that Straight Talk is on. It's time to get in the conversation. We're going to be talking about collaboration and community building. We've been talking about that for a while. So, this is an amazing opportunity for us to continue that conversation on today. For those of you who are listening to us on your FM dial on 107.1 FM, KISS WTLZ, we certainly thank you once again for making Straight Talk your number one show in our target audience. So if you're looking in our stream, and I want you to look just right here, put those. There you go. He's trying to be the man with the sexy pepper gray beard, but that role has already been taken. But if you notice, there's a brother that's out there in our social media stream. I used to call him Charles Lawrence, but he's Charles, aka Chucky Lawrence. He is well known to those of you who are out in the community. He does a number of things, and we're going to get right to a conversation with him. Just want to give you a teaser really quick, and he'll be here. And today, nope, yep, there we go. Yeah, and today we have. I just wanted to bring to light a couple of things that have taken place. I want to first of all give a shout out to Ma Brooks. My brother Antonio Brooks, his mom's birthday is today. He was going to be in studio, but he's going to take a jump into our stream in just a second. But today is her birthday, so we say happy birthday to you, Ma. And I think that every good boy should always take care of his mama on her birthday. So we certainly say happy birthday to you. Also, I want to give a shout out to all of the graduates from Saginaw United, Saginaw Covenant Academy, all of the graduates across the city and the county. Graduations are always a time to kind of reflect and be excited about the time that you have spent. And I always say what you put in is what you will get out across graduation day. And I'm glad that people have begun to say that individuals have earned, their honors as it relates to valedictorian, salutatorian, or National Honor Society, because it really was not given to you. You earned it. So congratulations. And we hope that you keep your eyes bride wide open. I'm bride open, tongue tied over here today, wide open for your bright future. I'm so excited for you. Guess who's in the first person in the stream here? It's my mother saying happy birthday to Mrs. Brooks. Mom, you're never the first one here, so I know that we must be doing something right. So I'm glad to have you here with us. Also, I want to give a shout out to the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma. On this past Saturday, I was honored for my work in community service with the various groups that we work with Dow Church Academy was the group that they initially were talking about, but also the young people over at Help CVI, as well as those young people out at Saginaw Valley with Impact. I'm so honored that you all took the time to recognize that work. I don't need to be recognized to do the work. I just always say, hey, it's about getting it done because that's what our community needs. But I want to say something. It's funny because Arshan Baldwin, um, I know why her kids excel, and I know y'all probably tired of me giving her props, but I'm gonna continually do it. As I was awarded this award, I also wanted to pay tribute to the individuals who really were key in how this entire Dow Treasure Academy program opened up. And I shared with the audience who were there, asked her to stand, and I said, "Hey, I think that whenever you go into a space, you have to talk with those individuals who I think are the quote unquote elders in that space." And I think that she and Lisa Coney do a great job as it relates to education. And I knew them very well, and I knew the work that they were doing in the system. So I asked them before we even began the process, like, what is it that our school needs? Because oftentimes we do what we think that they need. But when you're helping someone, you have to ask them, what is it that you need that I can help you with? And so I asked the question, what is it that you think our students need? How can we, benefit or support the work that the school is doing that you're not able to do? And she was talking about access, opportunities, and barrier removals as it relates to technology. And we need leadership. And so that kind of became the essence of what the Dow Treasure Academy was: STEM and leadership. And so after that, she posted a clip of the video, and she said, it's humility when a person takes the time when they're being honored to honor someone else. And it hit me again. I said, Arshan strikes again. because it was really the example, one of the first times since I've really been back home working and operating since about 2011, 2012 here in the city of Saginaw, that I've been in a position where there was another African American, another Black man that took the time to say, thank you, we respect you, other than my man Jimmy, who's out there in the stream. And there's very few brothers that I could remember. Now, the sisters are always quick to say, we appreciate the work you're doing. We salute you on the work that you're doing. But Pastor Marcellus Sunday, and I want to celebrate you, Pastor Sunday. When you introduced me for the award, I was kind of blown away. I think that you were much too kind for the words that you shared, but just the fact that you took the time to recognize another Black man, and I thought that that was so powerful. In the words of the man who's sitting across the table from me, I thought it was dope. I just wanted to take the time because what we saw in that moment is as you celebrated the work that I was doing, I then turned and I celebrated the queens that were in the room that were so essential to this work. And in the end, our kids were the ones who won. And so I just began to think about it. It made me post when let's normalize Black men celebrating Black men, and let's normalize Black men honoring and respecting and supporting Black queens. Because in the end, when we do those two things, our Black kids win. And I am unashamedly, unapologetically Black in terms of my focus. That doesn't mean that I don't like other people, but I heard something on the radio, and we're going to get into our conversation, but this is important. I heard something not on the radio, but I was going through some clips, and somebody said, if there were two men, one was Black, one was white, sitting at a table, and there was a pizza that was left, and that was all that they had to feed their family. And there were other people that were associated with these men. And they asked them, what would they do? And the Black man said, well, I'm going to cut this into fours so that everybody that's in the room gets a piece. And, that's a noble thing. That's how how most people would think. And the white man said, well, I'm going to take the pizza and I'm going to feed my kids. He says, because that's my responsibility, my kids. And listening to that concept, and if we would take that same concept and we would multiply that to the people throughout the world, we can begin to see how certain things happen. We in the community, in the Black community, we have a village mentality, which means we think about everybody. We want to take care of everybody in the room, whereas other people understand. And there's nothing wrong with this concept. And I think and I hope to some degree, we as a people will adopt some aspects of this. They take care of what they are directly responsible for, their family, therefore and no more. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of a concept, but we come from this opportunity or the space where we believe in Sankofa, which means that as we reach forward, we also reach back. And we are my brother's keeper. And so when I thought about that, I said, this is an amazing opportunity. So thank you, Arshan Baldwin. Thank you, Pastor Marcella Sunday. Thank you, Lisa Coney, on being absolutely amazing people. I celebrate you. Let's continually celebrate everyone else. And we are going to see that in the end, our kids are going to be the benefactors of that kind of celebration. All right, now can we bring that camera back in? I want to make sure that we bring our guests in the studio audience. I want to give a shout out to some of those people who are out there in our stream. Cherise Steele Phillips, Donna Shaw, Barb Campbell, Linda Smith, Cheryl Walker. What's going on, sissy? So many of you are coming in. Jimmy Green, congratulations on an amazing week for the people you touch, because I know you receive it in that way. Hey, and I see my sister Tara. You're going to see her in the room in just 1 second. Tammy Davis. She's out there. I appreciate you. So, look at my cousin. She's going to say you are valued. I value all. And lastly, but not least, Tammy, you reminded me, I am wearing orange, or I was wearing orange all day. I got on orange socks here. I don't ever wear orange socks, but I got orange socks, orange hanky, in celebration of Wear Orange. Orange is the color don't shoot, for gun violence awareness. The women at Help, the family peer support team, did an amazing job on leading the way for our Wear Orange event here in the city of Saginaw. So I want to thank our U.S. Congresswoman, Kristen McDonough-Rivet, and our state representative, Amos O'Neill, our mayor, who comes through for everything that we do, Pastor Chris Martin, who also came through, all of the individuals that made this amazing for these women who have suffered loss. And I just want to give you guys a little note. One of the key women who was working, Tiffany Owens, she had the day that we celebrated this was also the celebration or the anniversary date of when she lost one of her children. And so she took her pain and she turned it into power. Congratulations, Tiffany. I love you. You're a rock star. Keep up the good work as we continue to move forward. All right, let's get to the man of the hour. So if you look across from me, there's a man, his name is Chucky Lawrence, and he has been doing a lot of things. Chucky, say hello to our Straight Talk audience.
Hello, Straight Talk. Thank you for having me.
Now, you can't come in here with that kind of voice. I'm trying to keep my job, okay? You can, no, we're not doing that, okay? But no, I'm glad to have him in the room because we talked about collaboration. We talked about community building at the beginning of this. And something that I want to make sure that we all understand is that collaboration and community building can only happen in a place where there is honesty, integrity in our dealings. And also it means that we have to come to the table and be honest with who we are and do what's right. So before I even have Chucky say anything, I want to preface this by saying this. And some of you that maybe see this and be like, wait a minute, I thought they was beefing. I thought they was on the opposite side of the table. And I'm going to say this. There was a situation, Chucky and I have actually, if we were to be honest, Chucky, in 2020, when all of the craziness started in the world and there was such a cry for social justice, I reached out to you, we connected, and I said, hey, let's do a march for Black men. And we're going to, relive and celebrate Black men and taking, their space in the community. And we did that march against gun violence in honor of George Floyd, who was slain by police. And we had about 300 Black men that marched down Washington Avenue, and we had an amazing display there in Morley Plaza. So we had been working together since then. And there are some things that happened. And I'm not a mud raker. I'm not getting anything. I wish everybody well and success in what they do. However, there was a situation, and I found myself in a position of having worked with you and not having had any issues with you, but there being a rift with some people that were going on. And I don't have to, things know what's happening. And I found myself kind of stepping away from you. I didn't do anything to you. I didn't create an issue, but I was wrong because I took a step back because the people that I was working with had issue with you. All right. And so when I did that, and I thank God, this is why discernment is so important and being able to be teachable.
Yes.
Holy Spirit said to me, you need to understand that you're God's man first. And so being God's man means you got to do what God would want you to do. And I believe that there is such a power in forgiveness and reconciliation.
Of course.
And so I called you, and I thank you for being man enough to answer the phone.
Of course.
We weren't yelling at each other, but we were not communicating, and we knew that there was an issue there. I apologized to you. And then after I apologized to you for really taking a side and not taking a side.
Of course.
And you were man enough to say, you know what, bro, I accept that. We were standing outside of, what was it?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. And this was 2-3 years ago. This is a while ago.
Cold.
And it was cold.
It was cold.
But I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. There's such a power and such a classiness when you take the time, I think, and offer and allow someone to say, I'm sorry. And I appreciate you for that manner. And I want to say this, and I'm saying this publicly because I think even after that, it wasn't that we jumped out and we did anything. We communicated, we dapped, we gave hugs, but there has to be a modeling of that type of behavior. And if I'm going to be any type of man, if I'm going to walk in character and really be who God has created me to be as God's man, and there's a difference between God's man and a good man, then I have to do what God would do. And so I thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. But I wanted to make sure that we made that public. So I'm going to turn it to you, Chuck, because I want you, what were your thoughts and what was going through your mind during that period of time? Because this is community building. Okay. We've got to deal with the hard thing before we can really say we're going to work together, because we wouldn't trust each other.
Of course. Well, first and foremost, not only do I appreciate the apology, I have to be the person that's willing to accept an apology, as well as to be sincere in the acceptance. Because when we talk about leading our young Black men, conflict resolution, reconciliation, and forgiveness has to play a part in that. If you're not doing that, you're not really leading by example. You're not going to get the results of that can manifest from forgiveness. And then I am not a perfect person myself. There may have been efforts that I could have made to try to overcome what we're going through. And what we were going through was a simple misunderstanding. And the reason why we had a misunderstanding is because we didn't know everything about one another.
Absolutely.
So when you don't know everything about one another, which is what is absent right now with our youth, we as adults can make the same mistakes. And what we have to do is we have to be conscious of our mistakes, because guess what? The youth are watching. So that for me, it's just as gratifying to me to have a grown man say, "Hey, I was wrong. And man, will you forgive me?" And who am I not to grant you that or give you that? You know what I'm saying? Because I am not that perfect creature.
Absolutely.
I will never attain perfection. And knowing that, I think that if we all understood that we're all imperfect, then we can actually forgive others' imperfections. Because you know what I'm saying? Everybody could stand in a room and point their fingers at each other, and all you would have is a revolving door, a circle. There would be there, and there is no solution to that. There's no resolve, and then there's no growth.
I appreciate that. I appreciate this conversation. But we got a lot more stuff to talk about. I wanted to make sure I'm the kind of person people have issue with me because I'm sometimes too honest. I'm gonna be very honest with you, but I receive that same thing in return. So I want people to be honest. I think that when we are honest and we have the hard conversations, then we can always make sure that we can work together, because we can't work together until there's honesty. It is an essential piece of community building. So Chuck, I thank you for that. But we're going to get into the mix of what we're here for to talk about. You have been doing something, and the funny thing is we're talking about how we didn't work together when we first started. We sat at a table like this, and I said, "Hey, if you're going to do this, Chuck, this is your thing. Build your weekend out. And make this thing. Don't get caught up with all the other things, listening to what everyone else says. Do your thing." And I want to applaud you for doing just that. You doing your thing. So let's talk about the unity. Is it unity in the community kickball tournament? Is that correct?
Unity, yes.
All right. Tell me about it. Let the people know.
Peace and Unity Kickball is an idea that I was given, and it sounded almost impossible to attain, because we wanted 40 and over, and we wanted 40 and over because I feel like as a person that's made the dumb choices that I've made in my past, leading by example is probably one of the things that I know for a fact God has brought me through a lot of things to actually be able to do and go out in front of. So we thought, okay, if we have in our past as the older ones set bad examples, let's, as the older ones, come together in a unified fashion and show demonstration to our youth and our young ones what it looks like to put differences to the side and come together as a community, a true community is supposed to come to. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people was, you know what I'm saying, they were like, "Man, you're not gonna get 40-year-olds out there to play kickball." And I prayed over it and I pushed it. And what I'm so proud of is, as a community, we've been able to go out there without incident for going into our 4th year, and I know that it's making the impact that I wanted it to.
I don't know if I would say without incident. There's been a whole bunch of pulled muscles and sore, achy bodies. So I'm going to tell all of you 40 and oldest, come on, now think about it. When this first started, you are 5 years older than when you were from the beginning. But this has been, it's been an amazing opportunity, great fun. And what I love, whenever people think about community violence intervention, there are a set of thoughts and ideas that come together. But I say that every day that we create a positive narrative and we do something that brings people together, and there is no violence, that is a day of success for community violence intervention. And so this has been amazing. It's been amazing to see the community come out. One of the things that I've always longed for is to see the community come out, regardless of what church you belong to, because as we were talking we get caught up in what church you belong to, who's your pastor, who you're friends with. And it's an opportunity for Saginaw to come out and support Saginaw. So I want to salute you, my brother, for being able to do that, and what people didn't think was possible because of sides and teams, and you made it happen. And so I want to say really quick, for those of you who are out there, it's not too late to support this effort. If you're out there, I know that you have a number of sponsors that are out there, but as you grow, the opportunity grows, the platform grows, everything costs more. I mean,
Yes,
you
sir.
can go.
Yes,
I
sir.
bought hot dog buns this weekend, and they were bread is expensive.
Yes.
So I could imagine that the cost for you doing what you're doing has increased. So if there's people out there, and this is the thing that I love, because we could get small businesses. You have been a champion, supporting small Black businesses, talking about it on social media, those things. If we had each small Black business just to do something very small, like an $80
Yes.
contribution to what you're doing, this is how the village can take care of itself.
I agree.
Because we get $80, we get 100 people to do $80. That's $8,000.
Yes, sir.
We get 200. Are you understanding what I'm
Of course
saying?
I am.
So it doesn't take a whole bunch of money to make a big difference. So if people want to get involved, how do they contact you for the Unity Unity kickball tournament?
Well, we have constantly and will continue to make it a public knowledge thing on our social media platform. People can reach out to me through messenger, text message. My phone number is available to anybody. We are looking for great sponsors. We love the sponsors that we've had. They've done great by us thus far. We got some great support from a lot of people. So
I'm sorry,
go
Chuck.
ahead.
We got Jimmy Green out there. He said that's why I'd rather write a check than kick a ball. He says the way my body and bank account set up, I'm just gonna show up and support. We want to thank you for the comedy that you are bringing,
Always.
and everybody that's
Always.
out there. So go ahead. Once again, let's be clear. How can they connect?
Once again, we are POBO. POBO stands for putting others before ourselves. You can reach out to our secretary and bookkeeper, Miss Charlene Coffee Orange, and tell her that you're interested in being a part of this. We also have an open door right now for other teams that are interested in being a part. If you're a business, big business, small business that wants your team to be a part of something great, if you're a church organization that and that wants to come out and play within something that is spectacular for the community, build your teams, contact us, and let's come together truthfully as a community, because this has always been inclusive to everybody. Though it started with the schools, Central and Weber, the two coolest schools in the city. It's for everybody.
But Carlin showed y'all. They showed up last year.
Don't play. I won't play.
Now I do want to say something. Now this is me. I'm getting ready to get in trouble, but I'm gonna say this before the commercial break, so y'all have a time to think about it, let it marinate. I saw something this weekend. Kudos whenever we get together. And I think that there was a faith believers kickball tournament. I'm not sure who. I just saw like some pictures,
okay.
and I think that's amazing when you guys can get out there and do that. But that does not preclude you all from being a part of what's taking place here. Let's respect each other enough that when we do things that we're not trying to siphon off people from things that are happening in our community. Let's continue to work together. It's called community building, not tearing down. So I'm not sure who won that tournament. Churches, I say congratulations. Keep those same teams together and make sure you get in the Unity and the Community Kickball Tournament. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have something that we're going to share that is brewing. We're going to talk about the Brobecue. I know we've been talking about this for a number of years. It's actually getting ready to happen, y'all. So we want you all to stick, stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Hi, I'm Terry Pruitt. I proudly serve as the leader of the NAACP Saginaw branch. For 116 years, the NAACP has fought against racism and discrimination in communities across the nation. Every NAACP member makes a difference in carrying out the complex ongoing work of advancing racial equity. The NAACP has been the major driver in the hardest fought wins for civil rights and social justice. With you by our side, we can accelerate the next milestones for Black Americans and other marginalized groups of citizens in our community. Please accept my invitation to join the NAACP Saginaw branch. Join this multi-generational network of activists in our continuing efforts to dismantle racism by using our collective power to take the required necessary action. I want you to know that the NAACP will continue to advocate for policies that dismantle injustice and strive to improve the lives of all people. For more information about how to join, call the NAACP office, 989-752-0614.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough. Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I have way too many cars. So if you hate your old ride, bring it in and say goodbye. Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. This month, bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. See, the summer sky has me inspired. I want to help everyone reach for the stars. So this month, you could get way more for your old ride and drive a nicer, newer car. Plus, here at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists are out of this world. We work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So ditch your old ride and get up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, like shooting stars, this deal will fade fast. I'm Ryan Wasik, your dealer for the people. See all my dreamy rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Kelley Blue Book is a registered trademark. Offer ends June 30th, 2025.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Craving an unforgettable dining experience? Head over to Artisan Urban Bistro, where flavor meets sophistication. For a limited time, you can get a $30 dinner voucher for just $15. Enjoy fresh, locally sourced ingredients and creative dishes in a cozy, modern atmosphere. Whether you're celebrating or just treating yourself, Artisan Urban Bistro makes every meal special. But hurry, this amazing offer won't last long. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SEAT25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SEAT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SEAT25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code SEAT25.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
All right, this is Kareem Bowen. You're back with more of Straight Talk. Before the commercial break, I gave you a teaser. I said that there was something that was getting ready to happen in our community. And so we're getting ready to go right now. And I want to bring in to our stream. I see another brother out there that has joined our social media stream. So now if you're looking via social media, there should be three really good looking black men and this good looking black man is sandwiched in between the two of them in terms of the photo that we have here. I better watch how we say that in the photo, in the stream. All right.
No Diddy.
No Diddy for sure. Want to give a shout out to my brother, Antonio Brooks. What's up, Antonio?
What up, brothers?
All right. So we hear him out there. I don't know if we can give him any volume, if it's going to be any different so that we can make sure we hear him. All right. So Chuck, before the break, we were talking about something that was going to take place here in the Saginaw. We have been talking. We started out with marches, all these things. You've been talking about a barbecue for a very long time. What is getting ready to drop here in the city?
Well, what's getting ready to drop in the city is a collection of us real black men coming together, demonstrating for our community, demonstrating for our queens, demonstrating for our youth that we can come together. We can reconcile to one another. We can fellowship with one another. We can be vulnerable with one another. We can support one another. You know, we want this to be. And when Antonio and I talked, we talked about the idea of giving our young black men the difference of impression. Toughness versus vulnerability. Honesty versus emulation. You know what I'm saying? And just allowing our young black men to be open and honest, that a lot of them want to change, but even with people like myself that made the choices of street life, we're searching for acceptance, you know what I'm saying, and what we thought was love. And then once we're there, being kind of scared or apprehensive of stepping away from that because we don't know what's out there, because the love that we thought we had, it was given to us in an artificial form, but at least it was there.
Absolutely.
So a lot of young black men need the opportunity to have a strong black man say, I will be there for you. I will love you. I will, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to judge you. And I'll be there consistently. And that's what you're going to see. July 26th is a bunch of great black men coming together. All men of all races are invited to be there. We encourage that. But as you said, when we were having earlier conversation, we have to first make sure that we're solving and curing and healing with us, so that we can actually, be better for everybody else that it filters out to.
Absolutely. So Antonio, you're out there in the stream. Let me hear what you got to say.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
What's up, brothers? What's up, Chuck?
He said, what's up? He can't hear you. I can hear you. He said, what's up? Yeah.
What's up, bro?
No, so I'm here. I want to say happy birthday to my mama, first of all, because I stepped outside to do this. But I love the fact that what y'all brothers just did, man, is talked about the way that y'all reconciled y'all differences as men. That's the example that we need to be setting for all of our youth right now. Because what Chucky was just saying is, like, I talk to these guys every day, and I just had a conversation with the boys in the juvenile about exactly that. They want to step away, but they scared to step away because they think that their ex-ops ain't gonna let it go. So they feel like that's their comfort zone, and that's gonna keep them safe if they just stay in the gang or stay with they people carrying the straps and the pistols or whatnot.
I'm a strong believer that when our men in our community come together, and when men get on their knees, that our community get on their feet. So I think it's imperative for us as men to be able to have that space. I think, it's funny because we create safe space for women, we create safe space for children, but we don't think about having safe space for men. And it's important. It reminds me of a book that I wrote about 6 years ago, where I was talking about every man needs another man to speak to the little boy in them. And many of us have grown up as weeds, pretty much, not really being cultivated. And so we as men, we need other men. The word of God says that iron sharpens iron, so does a man the countenance of his brother or his friend. So this is a great opportunity. So I know that Pastor Tatum and David Parham were both supposed to be here today. Pastor Tatum had a prior commitment.
Yes, sir.
I want you guys to tune into the Saginaw African American Pastors. They do have a show that takes place every Sunday at 4 p.m. I have not been able to do it because that's my transition time. But tune in, and Pastor Tatum is one of those pastors that is doing that work. This is actually being held. Go ahead.
Yep, it's actually being held at Pastor Tatum's church at 1701 James, New Life Missionary Baptist. And again, yep, like you said, he had a prior Zoom commitment. But there's, I'm sorry, great people like yourself.
Ain't no coughing on my radio show.
You know what, man?
Go ahead, bro.
I said, I'll pay the toll on the way out. But then, you know, we got great men that are coming out there to be examples to our youth. We got Jimmy Green coming out. We got Brian Pruitt coming out. You know, we got Ralph Martin coming out to do a 5-minute vulnerability to speak about some of his, you know, being such a great dude and overcoming a lot of the things that he's overcome, just as examples, so that they, you know, a lot of our young men out there that day will let down their guards and know that they can be honest, you know, about how they're feeling, with some of the things that they're going through, where they want to go in life, the whole 9 yards. And I think that it's going to be great.
Awesome. Thank you so very much to Eddie Babers out there. It's not Stacey Crosby's birthday. It's Antonio Brooks' mother's birthday. So we're going to make that correction. But I also want to talk about that. So that is going to take place. That's going down. It's happening. We have the venue, we have the place and the space. But there's something else that's going to happen. You know, when great minds come together, I think God is in the mix.
Okay.
And wherever forgiveness begins to take place, there is a spirit. It is the spirit of Elohim, the creative nature of God, begins to manifest in the room. So I'm going to ask my sister if she can transition in. Be careful. Please don't knock over our makeshift camera situation. But we're trying to do, yeah, there you go. You got to walk past. And so suck it in, suck and tuck, and you can get on in here. But we're going to bring her into this conversation because help has been over and really just kind of taken Arthur Eddie under the wing. And so it means that me and my cousin Tara have had the opportunity to just talk about things. Antonio and Tara and Kareem and Antonio and Brooke. And what we realized is that we were all talking to this one woman. I tell you, there is no way on the planet. I have never done anything in my entire life and not included a woman in what I was doing, because they have attention to detail. They have an excellent spirit that comes in, and an ability to just create something out of nothing. I guess that's why God says that when we find one, we get favor from the Lord. So we bring into this conversation Miss Tara. So we got the Brobecue going on. What's that date again?
July 26th.
If people want to get involved, how do they hit you on the Brobecue?
They can hit me on social media. They can get in contact with yourself. They can get in contact with Antonio Brooks, Dave Parham, or Pastor Tatum, who has graciously given us the church and his expertise on how to do this.
Okay, all you got to do is say hoo, and somebody's going to show up for you.
There you go.
All right, but I wanted to bring Tara into the conversation because one of the things that I've always looked at, and you've heard this a million times, Charles, your kickball's ready. All right. Is people have said, what about the kids? What about the kids? What about the kids? And Tara comes in and says, what about the kids?
What about the kids?
All right. So who's going to do the unveiling of what we're talking about? Come on.
I'm going to let my sis do it.
Come on, sis.
So we kicking it with the kids 2025 kickball tournament. And we are excited that this is going to be a collaborative effort, not only between POBO, HELP, but the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. We are opening day at the festival, kicking it with the kids kickball tournament. So
what this means is that we have officially began to do the thing that we've been talking about here since this show started. It's called collaboration and community building.
Yes.
It is an amazing thing. Tara, as we talk about bringing the kids, what's the age range? What are we looking at for young people?
So we're looking at elementary to high school. Bring your church teams, youth ministries. This is a great time for you to come together and do some competition, some training, team players. That's important. Teaching kids to be team players is important. Families, come together. Pull your cousins' teams together. Neighborhoods, all of that. So from elementary to high school, that's what we're looking for.
Go ahead, Chuck.
But one of the things that we shared, Antonio and I, and he passed it to Tara, that I learned a long time ago, that if you establish rapport, a lot of times, you don't become enemies. Same thing, even when you have misunderstandings, you can come full circle. So if Tara and I discussed, if we start getting these kids that are younger and start introducing them to each other, teach them the respect and the moral compass of competition, then all of a sudden these guys, when they're seeing each other at the stores and they're growing to already into the friendships and the acknowledgments of one another, just like when black men, when we as older black men just acknowledge one another, we seem to feel like that person's a cool person. Yeah. Even if it's just a head nod, if there's a lot of people I pass in the lottery line now that I think are cool people. We've never held conversation. We just speak to each other each time we pass.
Now, Chuck, you don't be passing me in the lottery line. Let's make sure that that's clear.
We did not meet there. We did not meet there.
Yeah, but I do feel that way, and we stand in agreement that it's time for us to stop talking about introducing these different types of positive narratives to our children and getting them, learn the competition aspect of it, but then the overall thing is that we accomplish communication and friendship.
And I think that's so very important. And I'm going to bring Antonio. I'm going to pose a question to you that I want you to answer when we come back from this next commercial break. You have been very aggressively talking to a lot of young men, talking with them about really, is the beef that big? If I were to give it a title, is the beef that big? Bringing them to the boxing ring. You talked about sports and we talked about sportsmanship. When we come back from this commercial break, I want you to share a little bit about the importance of helping young people answer the question, is it really that big? We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
The Michigan Lottery has 4 new instant tickets called Electric Games, and they're a surge of fun, but there are some misconceptions.
Can I use my Electric Games tickets to charge my phone?
No, but there are electrifying top prizes up to $4 million.
Will playing Electric Games affect my power bill?
No, but with the multiplier and bonuses, they're wired for winning.
Do the tickets come with batteries?
Again, no, but there are $212 million in prizes. The new Electric Games from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Ready to earn more on your money while blazing your own trail? Wildfire Credit Union just turned up the heat with Blaze Checking, a checking account that earns an incredible 5% interest. Real rewards for your everyday banking. Simple, straightforward, and built around you. At Wildfire, it's not just about your money, it's about your journey. Blaze Checking, 5% interest, 100% you. Only at Wildfire Credit Union, where you're not just a member, you're family. Visit wildfirecu.org and start blazing your own trail today.
In order to qualify, you must be enrolled in e-statements, have direct deposit, and use your Wildfire debit or credit card 25 times per month. Balances above $10,000 earn 0.10% APY.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why pay full price when you can enjoy amazing deals instead? Right now, you can score epic deals like half off 4 weeks of 4-person league play at Swingtime Golf Club for only $80, or a gift voucher to K-Wall's Kitchen located inside Antique Warehouse for $7.50. Plus, be sure to check back for a fresh new deal every single week. That's right, new savings every 7 days. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to see all our available deals today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Attention golfers, tee up for this year's Core 4 Invitational. taking place at the Sawmill Golf Club Tuesday, July 29th, powered by Audio Central Alarm. The Core 4 Invitational is a 4-person best ball event, only $250 per team. First place takes home an overnight stay and golf package at Shanty Creek Resort. Thanks to Buck Insurance, you'll have a shot at winning $10,000 in the hole-in-one contest. For more information on all the great contests and prizes, or to register your team, visit 1063thecore.com.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
With Target, this Father's Day will be epic. Get up to 30% off gifts for dad. Plus, buy one and get the second one at half price on games, books, music, and more with Target Circle. From stylish apparel and top fitness gear to amazing games and Lego sets, you'll find the perfect gift for him no matter how he dads. Now through Father's Day, save up to 30% on select gifts for him. Plus, buy one, get the second at half price on games, books, music, and more with Target Circle. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4-day super sale and get 40% off paints and stains June 6th through the 9th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on home and auto insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your house sitter has the new code first before leaving for vacation.
System lockout.
But that's the code.
Contacting authority.
I'm out of here.
Oh, seriously, the car too?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a home and auto bundle that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more Straight Talk. I wish you all would have been able to be a part of our commercial break conversation because it gets real in here. All right, we're going back to Antonio, who's over there, who looked like the OG chilling. And you sound like you're listening to Regulators by Warren G.
Mom it up.
But before the break, I asked a question like, how do you engage with these young brothers and ask them, is it really that deep? So go ahead, because I know that we've had conversations concerning this.
Yeah, they know it's really not that deep. They just don't have the tools that it takes to know how to communicate and resolve a conflict without violence. They still children mentally, man, but at heart, they full of pain and trauma. You know what I mean? And so, like something like this kickboard game, you know what I'm saying? It'll give them something to focus on, something to believe in and build their confidence and kind of be able to be coached by their elders. You know, they got this thing called the O-ends versus the Y-ends. And I actually was explaining to them today how that's a trick of Willie Lynch. The O-ends versus the Y-ends, the old ones versus the young ones.
Bro, that's a whole conversation. We talk about the Willie Lynch letters, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, but they need to start being introduced to what that is. You know what I'm saying? So they'll know why they feel like they feel sometimes. But yeah, but I just think that they just need more attention from us, man, and they need to be able to trust us more. So therefore, we can't be coming in and out their lives playing with them. If we gonna be here, because I don't know if people see me in public, they always gonna see me with some of the mentees on my way to them, dropping them off somewhere. One thing about them, what they gonna know about me is if they can't depend on nobody else, I'm gonna always be there for them.
You know, it's funny. Pastor Sunday said that when he came to Saginaw that he thought he was going to be the mentor of the city. And then he said, I kept hearing about this Kareem guy. And Kareem, you've been everywhere. And I want to say this, Antonio, and I don't know if I've said it in this manner before. I met you, what most people would say, by accident. And I don't know if the radio's on. If it is, please turn it off. I met you, what most people would say was by accident. I was coming into a meeting, you were leaving out because your meeting had canceled. And when you came in, we connected. And there was a synergy behind how you thought and how you operated that reminded me a lot of how I am with kids. You can't walk away from a kid when you're in their life. You've done more damage than you have good in that period of time. And I say this, and I'm gonna say it over and over again with anyone who deals with young people, anyone who deals with men, anybody. Consistency over time builds trust. If you dating a girl, you trying to get a woman.
Consistency over time builds trust.
There you go. And she wants to know, yeah, I hear what you're talking, but if it takes you a while to get me, which is kind of a rare thing because we have sisters that are out there asking men to marry them. But back in the day, we used to have this thing where men would court women, right?
Okay.
And they wanted to know, can you last? Like, can you hang in there? And you would have to be consistent. You'd have to be consistent with calling, consistent with presentation of gifts and flowers and all of these things. This is how we were taught. If he wants you, he's going to wait for you, right? And so we have to take that same lion mentality that I'm going to get the gazelle. As we're pursuing women, we have to use that same type of understanding in reaching each other and in especially with dealing with our young kings and queens, that we have to be consistent. And when we just step out of their lives, we begin to mimic those fathers who don't have enough sense to realize that their children are their most prized possession. Y'all didn't hear me say that. And we've got to make sure that we don't mimic damaging behavior that they've already experienced. And so I appreciate you saying that. Before we get into that, Tara's going to come. She's going to take us all the way back when I ask her this question. Miss Riley, if someone is interested in kicking it with the kids and want to become a part of this whole celebration with the African American Cultural Festival, Hope, Po' Boy, and Help, how can they get involved?
The email, real easy to kicking it with the kids at yahoo.com. Kicking it with the kids at yahoo.com. And I just want to tag right here. Antonio mentioned the Willie Lynch letters. I ain't sure what he said, but one of the key components of why slavery was successful and what Willie Lynch told them was, if the black man and the black woman ever come together with a plan to save themselves, slavery will end. I believe we have approached that day in this city.
Absolutely. I think that this day marks that. And I also want to say this because we have Juneteenth coming up. Miss Renee Moore's like, well, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. She's going to be coming in because Juneteenth is coming before any of this. And Juneteenth is a celebration for all Black folks, right? And so on Juneteenth, that day, June 19th, we will be doing a live edition of Straight Talk. And the theme of that edition will be unapologetically Black. And people... we raise it. We're doing the Angela Davis, okay. And people need to understand in our community and in other communities that when we have Black joy, and why are you offended? When we are able to come
Can't be.
together and spend and be in spaces with each other, and we have things that are for blacks by blacks, FUBU for us by us.
Come on.
That it is not us trying to come together to overthrow you, but white privilege and what do we call it? White supremacy. And people get mad when I use those terms, would have it think that it's bad for us as black people to come together, and the fact that we can't have black joy without the presence of anyone else. And I say that with all the love in my heart.
All the love.
But on June 19th, we're going to have a live edition of Straight Talk. We're going to talk about these issues. We're going to talk about why black men can't come together. We're going to talk about all of those things. We'll give you a preface to the conversations that will take place for that subject. We're going to talk about community leaders. How come pastors can't come together when we have these things? We're going to talk about the issues that are happening in D.C. On Wall Street that impact Main Street. So it's going to be Straight Talk, unapologetically black, coming to the Juneteenth celebration, which will take place down in Morley Plaza. More to come about that. I want to say to my brothers and my sister, the queen in the room, thank you for being a part of this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Amen. And for those of you who are listening, there will be a special edition. I threw the link in the chat. I'll be having a conversation about fathers. I am so concerned about what this conversation going to be, but we're going to talk about what is character and integrity and why do they matter as we become men of God and men of faith, or just men in general. Why are they important to us? So thank you all. Chucky, we're signing off. You want to give your last shout out?
I just want everybody in the community to know that we are going to continue to go forward. We're going to continue to build these collaborations, build these relationships, and function as a true community and be examples to our young men and women. And I'm thankful for you guys coming on board, seeing the value in anything that we do as POBO. And I invite the community to come and be a part of everything that we're trying to do.
All right, Brother Antonio, what are your final thoughts?
I just want to give a salute to my sister T and Brother Chucky and you and the rest of the community. That you see I'm wearing my orange hat.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm wearing that orange. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody who showed up yesterday for the orange gun violence awareness event. Oh, I see you. Right on. and listen, for those that don't know, this pastor right here is 100% real, man. Me and him was out last night patrolling the streets like we was the black popo or something.
Come on, we ain't never scared.
Hey, we was out there trying to make sure our people was straight. Me and him. You know what I'm saying? We need more men to start stepping up when it's time for us to put boots on the ground. And I ain't talking about with them fans with that Beyonce did. We put boots on the ground and we gonna step for our people, for our community.
Yeah, either you go be about it or shut up and move out the way. All right, dear Queen, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is
tell us how you really feeling.
Peace is in the valley, y'all. I feel good right now. I'm so grateful I was able to be a part of today. What these men displayed is what our community needs. If more of this happens, even in quiet spaces, it will spill out into the community, and a spirit of love and a revival of peace will happen in this valley, and we will see a new Saginaw. That's all I look forward to, a new valley.
Hey, son, Tammy Davis said, you better say it.
That's right, sis. We love you.
And I want to close out today's show simply by saying that we are better together. Yeah. When we look at the beginning of the show, Straight Talk, we say straight talk, no chasers, no filters, getting to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter really that we are struggling with in our community is this thing called separation. It's about this thing called unforgiveness. And we are going to come together. Hell or high water, we're going to make a bridge over these troubled waters. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this conversation. And as we always say, take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen by the host, its guest,